Welcome back to Stay Brainy, Stay Curious, your one-stop shop for awesome riddles and brain teasers. These little mental challenges often get brushed off as casual distractions, but in reality, they're like a secret superfood for our minds. So, let's take a dive into the world of these brain-teasing wonders and discover why they're not just a way to pass the time, but your brain's best buddy for staying sharp and savvy. Let's start with this fun riddle. I can fly without wings and run without legs. What am I? It's the good old time. It's very common to use the phrase time flies or time is running out, right? So there you have it. Time can fly without wings and run without legs. Now that we've done our warm-up, let's challenge our brains with this math puzzle. You've probably done a ton of these in middle school, so let's see if you remember how to solve for unknowns. This one is next level though, as you've got 3 unknowns and only 1 number. Do you even dare? Let's just start with one equation. I'm going to choose the middle one. I'm going to take the lollipop on the left side of the equation and shift it over to the right to group the lollipops together. Remember to change the sign from negative to positive while you do this. So now we know that 1 candy equals 2 lollipops. I'm going to take that information and plug it in for the candy in the first equation, which means that 2 lollipops squared is equal to 1 cupcake. And I'm going to take that information and plug it into the third equation and exchange the cupcake for 2 lollipops squared. After doing a bit of math shifting, I get 2 lollipops squared equal to 4 lollipops. Remember that caveat at the beginning, assuming none of the unknowns is a 0? Well, knowing that the lollipop cannot be a 0, we can safely simplify by dividing both sides by a lollipop. That will get rid of the square on the left side and a lollipop on the right side. We're left with 2 lollipops equals to 4. That means 1 lollipop is equivalent to 2. From here on, it's easy breezy lemon squeezy. You just plug in for the lollipop in either of the remaining equations. I'm gonna go with the top one. 2 times 2 squared equals a cupcake. That means the cupcake is equivalent to 8. And then the candy is 2 times 2, which equals 4. There you have it, all 3 unknowns found. If you plug those numbers back in, everything makes perfect sense. Well done if you got this one. Okay, let's take a little breather by figuring out this cheeky brain teaser. I'm the beginning of everything and the end of time and space. I'm the beginning of every end and the end of every place. What am I? Let's read this together one more time, slowly. I'm the beginning of everything and the end of time and space. I'm the beginning of every end and the end of every place. You get the gist. It's letter E. Wow! This was a very popular short on our channel. Take a close look at the picture. Can you figure out which set of honeycomb fits the missing chunk? The answer is B. It's a little tricky, this one, but if you rotate the honeycomb in answer B by 90 degrees, you'll find that it fits the missing chunk perfectly.
Whoa! Whoa!
Next up is an all-time favorite, the matchstick puzzle. As you can see, the equation in front of you is completely incorrect. The objective of this brain teaser is to find one matchstick that can be moved somewhere else in the equation to make the equation correct again. Disclaimer, you cannot put a matchstick across the equal sign and call it a day. That's a cop-out. So there's actually two ways you can solve this problem. You can choose to alter either of the 5s. If you take the top vertical match from the first 5 and shift it ever so slightly to the right, you can make it a 3. 3 plus 5 minus 2 equals 6. Perfect. And vice versa, you could opt to do the same thing with the second 5 instead, yielding the new equation of 5 plus 3 minus 2 equals 6. Either way, you fixed the problem. Okay, here's a cheeky little riddle for you. How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? Think carefully. You can only do it once. You might have said 10, going from 100 down to 0, or even better, infinite amount, because you can continue to negative infinity, but the trick here lies in the wording of the riddle. You see, once you subtract the first 10 from 100, you're left with 90. After that, you're technically subtracting from 90, then 80, then 70, and so forth. So you can actually subtract 10 from 100 only once. A quick test here to see what you remember from high school. You've got 4 choices. What's the answer to the equation? Of course, it's undefined. The cardinal rule of math, you cannot divide by 0. Ever wondered why? Here's a quick proof for you. Say you want to divide 5 by 0. Whatever the answer is, we can check its validity by working backwards. We take the answer and multiply it by 0. It should give us 5, right? But we know that whatever number multiplied by 0 is always 0, so no matter what number we plug in for the question mark, it will never yield the solution because nothing multiplied by 0 will give us 5.
Wow!
And last but not least, we've got some abstract reasoning. Did you know that many employers use psychometric testing in their recruitment process, with a nonverbal reasoning test often being included? So let's test your visual dexterity and see if you can figure out what comes next in the sequence. If you answered C, excellent job. Let's break it down together. Let's take the first image and compare it to the second one. It looks like the second image is the first one rotated 90 degrees to the right and then flipped horizontally. Pay attention to the vertex where the dashed lines meet. Let's use it as our frame of reference. If we continue with that pattern, rotate 90 degrees to the right, then flip horizontally, we'll get the image in number 3. Continue rotating the image, remembering to flip it each time. The image that we're looking for will be an upright pyramid, so either answer B or C. The only difference between these two is where the dashed lines are located, and we know that after flipping image number 4, the dashed lines will meet on the right side of the pyramid. In fact, we end up with the original image from number 1 as our answer. Therefore, C is correct as it is identical to the first image.
Wow!
That's all for today, everyone. I'm sure your brain feels invigorated, or at the very least, entertained. I hope you learned something new, I hope you had fun, and I hope you always stay brainy. See you soon for another round of brain teasers.